All right, this is for Stephon Walker. This is for the Democratic Party in the state of Maryland. This is for Rod Rosenstein from the Department of Justice. This is for Judge Bennett that sat on the case for those 6 judges. This is for Brian Frost for the Attorney General's office. This is for Al Redmer for Insurance Commission. This is about being black in America. This is about your courts and the corruption in your courts. I am Dred Scott. Blacks have no rights in which white America respects. I was doing a documentary and it was all about the courts in Illinois and the courts in Maryland. I am Dred Scott, a Supreme Court rule. All right. Taunting a staunch supporter of slavery with the intent of protecting Southerners from Northern aggression, wrote in the court's majority decision, Scott was black and was not a citizen and therefore had no rights. All right. And that's how you treat black people in America today. You treat them like we ain't got no rights. You treat us as property. We traded the penitentiary for the plantation, cotton for cocaine, and we steal the cash crop. You see every day that we beaten, we abuse, police brutality. We can show lynching. We can show the history of being black and white America. And we're looking for Judgment Day. So what I was doing was making a documentary and a movie about the politics. Y'all had Khalif Browder, y'all had the 13th Amendment, y'all had the new face of old Jim Crow. Well, nobody really broke y'all down the way that I'm breaking y'all down. And the way I broke you down is I told the courts I was making a movie and a documentary about you. This was part of it. I had 13 books, 13 movies, 13 documentaries. I got 14 in all because Rob Fix has letters to Zion. All right. And it's all about your politics. That's a movie release. It's about parole and probation. Governor O'Malley signed for this. And you can get that from Governor O'Malley. All right. Shorty documentary. It was a documentary. And I'm the producer, the director. I'm all part of that. And that's the legal mail for State Center. Because he had it more than just once. I sent him a lot of this information. He got a lot of this information. So like I said, truth, justice, and the American way. We're talking about racism in the courts. And we're talking about black faces that carry out a white agenda of white supremacy. White supremacy don't exist without black cooperation. Jim Crow don't exist without black cooperation. We're talking about plantation politics. And Governor O'Malley was the overseer of the plantation that he created. You got Stephon Walker and he in Chicago. The same politics in Chicago is right here in Maryland. You feel me? The same politics in Baltimore, Maryland came out of Chicago. And I showed the ties between them. Chief Justice Taney was a judge in Maryland. Dred Scott was a decision in Illinois during the Missouri Compromise. So I showed the relationships. I'm showing that slavery exists then and it exists now. So Stephon Walker, pay attention to this. I'm giving you a history lesson in politics. Want it. All right. Like I said, one of the movies is Baltimore Rewired. And it's about the militarization of our police in the police department. It's the criminalization of poverty. You want us to worry about immigration? Well, I'm still worried about mass incarceration. And we're going straight to your office, the Insurance Commission, and Governor Hogan. For real. Johnny O, if you win, you got to deal with Caminet's dirty laundry. I want everything in the public eye because I contacted all of these officials. Each one of these officials has full knowledge of me making a documentary about the politics and the politicians. That's Mayor Moxley from Waukegan, Illinois, because I was incarcerated there in 2008. That's Caminet's. That's Dwayne Gerald Davis Jr. because I want my sons, Jake Davis, Gerald Davis Jr., and Deron Battle held accountable for insurance fraud, embezzlement, ID theft. I want you held accountable. So I'm going to make sure that everybody know who did what. That's Mayor Stephanie Rollins Blake, because when she was in office, I ran her down, I tracked her down, and I checked her everywhere I seen her. And she got the information exposed in the Democratic Party. That's Brian Frost. Y'all seen me on numerous occasions confronting Brian Frost. Brian Frost was a senator when I first started this. Brian Frost, John Gardner, Marilyn Mosby, Stephanie Rawlins Blake, Kathleen Pugh, Sheila Dixon, Governor O'Malley. I gave y'all a shorty program, each one of y'all, since 2006. All right? And Brian Frost is protecting the corruption. You got consumer violations and you consumer protection rights. And that's what you need to address. You can't protect the Democratic Party with your office. That's abusing your powers. Like I said, go directly to Mayor Pugh, get all her emails, get all the private messages off her private cell phone, and get the emails to Dr. Bundy. Because Dr. Bundy's her go-between guy. That's the buffer that you're using. That's the Department of Justice. Like I said, the Department of Justice been knowing about this since I started this. I gave the Department of Justice everything I had. Robert Davis from the Department of Justice. Ashley Leahy from the Department of Justice. Patrick Fitzgerald from the Department of Justice. Rod Rosenstein from the Department of Justice. Alan Locks from the Department of Justice. All right. The Department of Justice been abreast of this since I started this. The FBI in Chicago office took an intake interview with me on February the 1st in 2007. I want everything on the public eye, and I want everything in the... It don't matter if it's in the public eye or not. Because like I said, the movie going to tell everything. That's Governor Hogan. I got recorded phone calls to Governor Hogan. With Governor Hogan's office on numerous occasions. Kyle Gilbert. We talk about being black and how you address issues in the black community. You opening up a campaign office. I'm going to be there. Judge Turnbull. We're going to talk about Judge Turnbull and Judge Turnbull's son and their relationships in the court in Baltimore County. We're going to talk about Judge Turnbull. We're going to talk about Judge Cox, Judge Papaya, Judge Janae, Judge Souter. All right. We're going to talk about the judges and accessing the courts and how you have racially bias in your courts. That's why I want the Department of Justice to investigate Baltimore County courts. I also want to investigate Baltimore City courts, the office of Marilyn Mosby, Greg Bernstein, because I'm going to show you your patterns in practice as far as race and racism. I asked for an audit, a federal and a state audit from Francott and the IRS, because the money that the bail bondsmen spend in your campaigns, the money and fees in the courts, I want that tracked, and I'm going to show you how much money y'all making off of Black Baltimore and Black Baltimore County. I'm going to show you the money that you raped the black community. Judge Bennett got this, and I'm getting ready to send Judge Bennett some more information. I send Judge Bennett these videos, emails, all this. Anything that I do, the judge got it. Anything I do, Barbara Mikulski had it. Anything I do, Hogan got it. Anything I did, WJZ got it. Adam May has 25 pages of a jailhouse diary from the interview he did with me at Spring Grove Medical Facility. Those 25 pages exposes the role that the media plays in misinformation. I can't go into the theater and holler fire if there's no fire. I go to jail for that. On February the 7th, Scott Schellenberger said bomb. Scott Schellenberger said terrorism, and y'all locked me up. No, we're going to show the relationship that the media has with the politicians in Maryland. We're going to show the relationship that the media has with the politicians in Maryland. And I'm going to show the relationships I had with the media. Y'all did a hard look story on me in 96, 97, and 98. It's about me coming out of jail and reforming my life. The Shorty program was a returning citizens program. Self-help organization for the redevelopment and re-education of the young. And Judge Bennett got it. WJZ got it. Governor O'Malley, Governor Hogan got it. Barbara Mikulski got it. Kyle Gilbert got it. Al Jazeera's got it. The Department of Justice Civil Rights Division got it. You feel me? I'm going to be mic checking y'all's events. Y'all got campaign openings. Y'all got town halls. Well, I'm going to be there. And I'm going to take control of the narrative and the conversation. So about state prison officials decided not to demand social media passwords. Well, I use social media to make sure that our state officials are held accountable. Bobby Zirkin, Cheryl Glenn, and you can go to Leaders of the Beautiful Struggle, because they ain't never talked to me. But you want to talk about mass incarceration, but you want to exclude me from the conversation. No, I'm part of the conversation. Long before you were established, I was talking about this. So you're a leader of a beautiful struggle? Gotta think twice about that one. But I want to thank you for giving me these pictures so I can make this storyboard. It's your legislative report card. Y'all got F's across the board. I talked to y'all personally for the last 2-3 years. Mary Washington, since the 2010 elections, I got you on film when I came to your office asking for a full investigation. Appropriate officials in the state of Maryland to assist Shorty. That means that you supposed to help me, 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 you supposed to help me. It's a petition for y'all to help me, but it's really a movie release about your corruption. Y'all got Nathaniel McFadden? Dog, y'all got Nathaniel Oakes? I want Nathaniel McFadden the same way that you got Nathaniel Oakes. I want Mosby the same way that you got Nathaniel Oakes, because I can show you the corruption in your courts, which y'all are shielding the corruption. We got Bilal on videotape. I got y'all on videotape for the last 4 years, 5 years, 8 years. I got Zerky threatening me because I was supporting Scott Rifkin against you. I got the emails to prove all this. We talking about white supremacy in Baltimore County and the people that carry it out. White supremacy don't exist without black cooperation. And we talking about Baltimore Wire, your courts, and your executive offices. Now we're talking about the Minority Report. All right. And this is official. My face, YouTube, and Twitter. This is one of the 13 movies that I make. It's called The Minority Report. Baltimore Rewired, The Minority Report, Letters to Zion. This is kind of a screenplay. Dear President Obama. All right. That's from 2015. Senator Cardin, Congressman Cummings, Mikulski, the ACLU. All right. Being black in America. This is America. All right. This is the Constitution. I'm going to play color by numbers here. This is the United States Constitution of America, the First Amendment. Congress shall make no laws respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the freedom of exercise therefore, or abridging the freedom of speech or press or the right of the people to peaceably to assemble and petition the government to redress grievances. That's a petition for our government to readdress these issues. This is a right to my property. All right. Right there. September 2011. Defendant's property. Subpoena requested. Jerome Joyce, that's my lawyer. Notice, you are liable to a body attachment, a fine, or failure. You never signed a body attachment. You never arrested nobody for refusing to turn my property. This is my property. The entire contents of the defendant's vehicle, a 1999 Chevy Suburban truck, Maryland registration, registered to Dwayne Davis, 1402 Lochner. I was a Baltimore City resident. In these contents has been destroyed or disposed of. If you destroyed or disposed of those contents, then you got to compensate me for my losses. That's what the Constitution says. That's what the Constitution says. That's City Hall. That's your United States Senate. That's Senator Barack Obama. This is for the insurance claim, because I was incarcerated. Dear Mr. Davis, thank you for your recent correspondence to the Chicago District Office. All right. So, Stefan, you paying attention to this? Chicago office, Kerry Cogwell, constituent services, U.S. Senator Barack Obama. This was in 2008. This what being black and white America is. You talked about Crowley and y'all had to sit down? No. We're going to have a sit down about me. Baltimore City, Baltimore County, Lake County, Illinois. People of the state of Illinois. Lake County versus Dwayne Davis. I filed these paperwork with the courts showing that blacks have no rights. That's a legal notice. So for y'all to charge me with terrorism after you had this legal notice, Governor O'Malley had it. Governor Quinn had it. The Attorney General had it. Gansler had it. President Obama asked for an investigation. That's the Minority Report. Then we go into this one. Cornelius Adams gave me this. This is partly a shout out to Cornelius Adams as well. You feel me? That's from City Hall, because I was in City Hall yesterday. It is what it is. That's Judge Bennett. United States District Court. Honorable Judge Bennett. I am writing you respectfully. 1402 Lochner. All right. I broke down the story to the judge and gave a copy to Larry Hogan, Senator Bobby Zirkin, and Delegate Valerio. All right. Y'all got this. But y'all shielding the corruption in the courts because that's your cash cow. I went to Al Redmer's office this morning because I'm going to file my insurance claim. That's my insurance claim. That's Insurance Incorporated. Brother Insurance. All right. I was insured. I was insured while I was locked up in the state of Maryland. And I was insured for terrorism. You charge me with a terrorist, and that's covered under my insurance. I'm a businessman, and I'm going to handle my business, man. That's going to be on my complaint. That's Bank of America. Dwayne G. Davis, Shorty's Underground Ribs, 1402 Lochner. The state participated in the fraud. Scott Schellenberger locked me up and took this evidence. You seen that the state was supposed to return this evidence. It's not returned. I got this I got this. That's my bank account. Shorty's Underground Ribs. Right? Dwayne G. Davis. That's my bank account. I was in jail in 2008. So if I was in jail in 2008, how did James Hammond get a check for rent for $1,200 and I was locked up? How was the store running and no taxes was paid? That's insurance fraud. That's identity theft. I was insured for $1 million. You seen the policy. That's not my signature. That store should have been closed. And these individuals need to be charged criminally. That's Chief Justice Roberts of the Supreme Court. Like I said, I documented this. I wanted this to go in front of the Supreme Court. I am Dred Scott. That's the Supreme Court, 2007. This was before you stole my store. I was making a documentary and a movie about your courts before you locked me up. Now I got locked up in 2 different states to prove what I was saying is true. Blacks have no rights in America, which white America has to respect. That's my store on Falls Road. Davis versus Illinois. Dear Mr. Davis, in reply to your letter, all right, under Article 3 of the Constitution, under Article 3 of the Constitution, all right, it's a right to approach the Supreme Court. It's called a writ of certiorari, all right, and a writ of certiorari. I need that writ of certiorari, but I need my Maryland and state officials to give me that paperwork. I need my state officials to give me this paperwork so I can approach the Supreme Court like Dred Scott. Just like Dred Scott, I want to approach the Supreme Court. I am Dred Scott. That's David Irwin. Country Ridge Store on Falls Road. All right, 2007. And these are the movie releases. Kathleen Pugh, Department of Justice. So when I file this claim, we're going to finish what we started. I voted for this shit. See that? Commode motion. You locked me up for a toilet. The toilet represented your racism in your judicial system. And this was commode motion. This is called potty training politicians. Political corruption. See that? 2009. Before I got locked up, after I got out of Illinois, I asked for a hearing. That's my Baltimore City resident. Motion for a public hearing. All right, dear Mr. Davis, Judge Holland, all right? The civil clerk's office is located, all right? I filed this paperwork with Frank Conway. I filed it with Greg Bernstein, and I filed it with Marilyn Mosby. I filed this paperwork to have a public hearing. I filed it with Greg Bernstein. You feel me? And I got him on film when I gave him the information. I also filed it with the Maryland Black Caucus. See the date? March. See the date? February. February 2009? March 2009. See it? Vice Chair, Senator Kathleen Pugh. You feel me? I don't want nobody left out the loop. Congressman Dutch Ruppersberger, Mikulski. See Mikulski? See Mikulski? Y'all was on the toilet. Y'all tied to this. So now that we have all this we go to this. Oh, snap. That's Judge Turnbull. That's Scott Schellenberger. That's the Department of Justice. That's Chief Judge Cox. Because like I said, the courts is the one that I want to have investigated. A criminal investigation about the courts in Baltimore County. I am Dred Scott. We're going to talk about the 2018 elections. Talk about the material that Governor Hogan got. We need to talk about it. We need to see it. And this is how we're going to see it. I got everything on film since 2007. All right? Everything is on film. Y'all took my computer and y'all took my emails. I got 2015. You feel me? I got all this that I need. I got it all documented. Las Vegas, Chicago, New York, Philadelphia, North Carolina. I got everything, PDF files. I got my journey for justice on film. I got when I chased the chief of police out of City Hall. I got what I need. I am Dred Scott. Blacks have no rights in which white America has to respect. Well, you got to respect something. Because you got to deal with this. Governor O'Malley. All right? You got to deal with this. You also got to deal with this. Adam May got to return those 25 pages. We're going to talk about Spring Grove and the abuses of prescription medication in the Department of Corrections. We're going to put WJZ on front. See the date? 3/10/2011. Parole and probation. Mass incarceration. We're going to talk about the politics and the politicians. Like I said, I got everything documented. I got what I need. The question is, do you want to finish what you started? You feel me? We're going to finish what I started. Mass incarceration. I'm going to show white justice and black justice. See my race? I'm white. This is the Baltimore County Detention Center. And we're going to talk about the corruption in the courts. We're going to talk about Governor O'Malley's Office of Minority Affairs. Shorty Davis, inmate, Baltimore County Detention Center. We're going to show those tapes. Wayne Davis, Baltimore County. You're going to have to show everything. The witness list. How you deny me access to the court. I shouldn't have to take you to court to get my property. And I still ain't got my property. But I do got an insurance claim. See you when I see you.